Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today's going to be very short and sweet, raw and unedited. I'm in a massive rush for the Alpha Futures event, and that's the thing that I told you guys when I recorded this video 10 minutes ago, and then I realized my microphone was off, so I'm even in more of a rush now. Anyways, before I do get into it really quickly, as you can see by my background, I've moved into a new condo new condo, and that is why I've not uploaded on YouTube in several weeks. There was a long, moving out took a long time. Then I put my stuff in storage. I moved in. There was a 5-day wait between moving out of my old place and moving to my new place that I was literally crashing at my boy's place. I was like homeless, not really, but I had nowhere to stay. And then after I moved in here, I wasn't able to get my furniture delivered for about 6 days. We had to wait to actually be able to move in because of the building. Anyways, long story short, I was not able to produce content. I do apologize for that, but it wasn't me slacking. I have literally not had my computer. But I have had it for several days now, and we are back at it. So with that being said, let's recap today's trade. Today's trade was a loss. As you can see, it completely played out beautifully after. Now, I took this trade at this price, not based on my model, because as you can see, I had no levels at this price. I had a level above that actually worked very nicely. This level above worked nicely. Even this level here, all the levels hit today, but that's just not what I ended up taking. Now, what I took was based on this right here. We have a bearish order block right here. It is about that big. This bearish order block is broken right here. So a bearish order block is a liquidity imbalance concept essentially, where price is going to push out of this essentially, as it did. When price closes above this solid close, this is now mitigated. But instead of becoming irrelevant like a fair value gap, it flips, and instead of being a bearish order block, this becomes a bullish breaker block. So from a bearish order block into a bullish breaker block, which price is going to support off of and out of. Now, let me clear these drawings. Put that one out the way. And let me explain what my mistake was today. My mistake was obviously anchoring on these internal low right here. If I did not anchor on these lows, and I anchored instead using the breaker block, the mitigation candle that broke through that block, or this candle down here, or just rolled with a 12.5 point stop loss, I would have easily hit TP. But instead I was stopped out 3 minutes before that TP would have been smacked. I also, to make this extra brutal, called out 940 price being Friday's highs as potentially getting hit. Guess what? We took them perfectly. I could have easily taken a 55 RR 400 point trade, but I'm not as salty about missing this much because I realistically wouldn't have taken that. I would have taken profit here. And I am salty about missing my 120 points today because it was the most obvious trade I've seen all week, in the past week, because today's a Monday. Anyways, my mistake was taking it on that internal low. I could have instead, like I said, anchored here at the breaker block low, or here at the low of the candle that broke through it. That is exactly what I would recommend doing for most people. Anchor on the candle that broke through that block if you can, and include the wick if you can. Obviously, if it's a huge candle and violates your rules, etc., that's different. But in this context particularly, I would have 100% recommended anchoring here. What I did was a rookie mistake, and it cost me that perfect stop before playing out, which we all know is the worst feeling. Now, what I'm going to do instead for the future to prevent things like this happening, which, no, I'm not changing my strategy or habits based on this one trade. This happens to me more often than I'd like to admit. I hate when this happens to me, and it happens to me. So I'm going to increase my stop loss size and fix it to a fixed 12.5 point 50 tick stop loss. I'm trying that out based on my personal friend's advice, Ivan Trades, who you guys are probably familiar with. If you don't know, me and him are also roommates and live together at this condo. Ivan, if you don't know, is also a great trader. And yeah, I'm going to take his advice and try it out because obviously, if I rolled with that fixed stop loss today, that would have worked. But even if I had just anchored a little bit more wisely, that would have worked out in my favor. In fact, if I had anchored even one more point, this would have played out. Or, sorry, one more tick. I was perfectly stopped out today before it played out, which is okay. I did appreciate the amount of clarity I had today. It feels good to know exactly what's going to happen before it happens and watch it happen, even when you lose. It's nice to have that clarity. As far as my loss goes today, it was about $170, I guess, right? Something like that. After fees, I was like minus 170 on my P&L, which is obviously less than 0.3% of my account. So not a lot of money lost today. I'm not really worried about the loss. It was just more annoying to have that perfect stop when you're correct and then lose out on all that profit. Because today easily could have been a 10K plus day, but it is all good at the end of the day. Anyways, I do have to run off to this Alpha Futures event, which starts in literally 20 minutes. So I do have to get going. But hopefully this trade recap was helpful. It was a very basic breaker block trade. But yeah, my mistake today that you guys should learn from was adjusting your stop loss to be not super tight. You don't want to take it to necessarily the closest low like I did right here. Just give it a little bit more breathing room, and that extra 2 points or whatever $40 in risk could save you thousands of dollars. So yeah. Anyways, hoping for a better luck next time, better luck tomorrow. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.